Monday, May 5th. I detect a quorum with Councilmember Allen present, myself present, Councilmember Benedict, Cap, Cortez, Gadd, Horton, Coopin, Parker, Rutherford, and Vo present. Thank you all for being here. There is pursuant to Section 844-112 of the Tennessee Code Annotated, this time is reserved for public comment on legislative items appearing on the agenda. No one is signed up to speak. So without objection, we will move into the agenda, starting with the consent agenda. And I'll read off the numbers of items that I have on consent. If anything needs to be pulled off, please let me know. Items on consent include RS 2025 number 1960, 1187, 1188, 1199, RS 2025 1207, 1208, bills on second reading, Bill 2025-783, 784, 814, 815, 816, 817, bills on third reading, Bill 2025-739, 7 and 740. Those are the items that I have on consent. Does any Councilmember Benedict?
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to pull number 3 and number 4, RS 2025-1187 and 1188.
Thank you. Those have been pulled. Does anything else need to be pulled off of consent before I read the captions? All right, without further objection, I will read the caption of the items on consent, starting with RS 2025-960, a resolution approving an adjustment to the Mixed Income Pilot Program as authorized pursuant to ordinance number BL 2022-1170 program by Allen, Sorora, Vo, Benedict, and Coopin. RS 2025-1187 by Hill Gamble. No, I'm sorry, those two, that has been pulled. RS 2025-1199 by Porterfield, Gamble, Parker, and Allen, a resolution approving Amendment 1 to an intergovernmental agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation and the Metropolitan Government by and through the Nashville Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure for the acceptance of work in connection with the installation of separated bike lanes in East Nashville. RS 2025-1207, Toombs Gamble Parker, resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, the vertical realignment of existing sanitary sewer main and new sanitary sewer manholes for two properties located at 3104 and 3108 Alpine Park Boulevard. RS 2025-1208 by Toombs Gamble Parker, resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assemblies, and sanitary sewer manholes for two properties located at Curtis Drive, unnumbered, and 3031 Lawrence Avenue, also known as Clarksville Pike, SP Phase 2. Bills on second reading, BL 2025-783 by Toombs, Gamble Park, and others, an ordinance authorizing the renaming of an unimproved portion of Tony Road to Lillard Lane. BL 2025-784, Welch, Gamble, Parker, Horton, Porterfield, an ordinance authorizing the renaming of a portion of Alley 1892 right-of-way from Meade Avenue to Alley number 1917 to Frankie Alley. BL 2025-814, Easley, Gamble Park, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to acquire permanent and temporary easements through the negotiation, condemnation, and acceptance for the Lynn Lee Drive Stormwater Improvement Project for 11 properties located on Lynn Lee Drive, Gale Drive, and Old Hickory Boulevard. BL 2025-815, Horton, Gamble, Parker, and Gadd, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon existing public water main and easement and to accept new public water mains, fire hydrant assemblies, and easements for three properties located at Centennial Boulevard, unnumbered, and 7475 Cockrell Bend Boulevard, also known as Melta Project. BL 2025-816, Gamble Park, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 9835 Clovercroft Road in Williamson County, also known as Stage Brook Subdivision. BL 2025-8 17, Gamble Park, an ordinance authorizing Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at Fly Road in Williamson County, also known as Storyville Phase 2. Bills on third reading, BL 2025-739, Hancock, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of Metropolitan Code of Laws and Zoning Ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by applying a neighborhood conservation zoning overlay district to various properties located west of Neely's Bend Road and north of Longfellow Drive, Zone RS20 and R20. And BL 2025-740, Hancock, an ordinance to authorize building material restrictions and requirements for BL 2025-739, a proposed conservation zoning overlay district on various properties located west of Neely's Bend Road and north of Longfellow Drive, Zone RS20 and R20. May I have a motion for the consent agenda? Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Councilmember Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I apologize that I sometimes need to have the captions read before I can know which things need to be removed, but I need to move RS 2025-960 from the consent agenda, please.
Okay. Thank you. That has been removed. Any other discussion before we take a vote on the consent agenda? With no further discussion, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries for the consent agenda. Going back to number 1 on your agenda, RS 2025-960, Allen, Sorora, Vole, Benedict, and Coupin, a resolution approving an adjustment to the Mixed Income Pilot Program as authorized pursuant to ordinance number BL 2022-1170 program. May I have a motion? Or I still need a motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't know if I have to make a motion, but I guess I moved it. No, well, because this was deferred over 60 days, it is deferred by rule.
Okay.
So I don't know if that needs a motion. I just need to, do I need to ask for it to be deferred or just point that out?
It will be automatically deferred at the meeting tomorrow night, regardless of what happens in committee. If you want to go ahead and defer it in committee, it'll come back to committee. If you wanted to hear it in committee, then you would have a report already going out of committee.
Gotcha. No, I would
today.
like for it to come back to committee.
Then defer.
Okay, so I would like to defer one meeting.
Thank you. Motion to defer one meeting. May I have a second? Properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of the deferral for one meeting, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to number 2 on our agenda, RS 2025-1142 by Coupin, Porterfield, and Gamble, a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and the East Bank Development Authority. May I have a motion? Moved and properly seconded. Councilmember Coupin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. This is the resolution approving the intergovernmental agreement that was discussed at the East Bank Committee and has been discussed with the Development Authority. And so urge my colleagues to support it. And I'd also like to move the amendment.
The amendment moved and properly seconded. Would you like to give us an explanation of the amendment?
Sure. Thank you, Chair. So this amendment came out of our East Bank committee conversation. Councilman Evan Siegel had mentioned that she would like to see a deadline for the audit that's required in the agreement. And so I appreciate the administration supporting that. And that is what this amendment would do.
Thank you. Any discussion on the amendment? Without further discussion, all those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Now we're on your bill as amended. Councilmember Coupin.
Thank you, Chair. Move as amended, please.
Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to number 3, RS 2025-1187, Hill and Gamble, a resolution approving an intergovernmental license agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and the United States of America to enter certain property located at 1414 County Hospital Road, owned by the Metropolitan Government for limited military training purposes. May I have a motion? May I have a second? Thank you. Moved and properly seconded, and we're on discussion. Councilmember Benedict, you recognize.
Thank you, Chair. Colleagues, this is a resolution, and the next one also are ones that tend to, or that come before us most years. There's been a lot of discussion about them in the past. I think there's no better time right now than to stand up to the United States federal government and say, until you cooperate with us, I'm not going to cooperate with you. I'm an absolute no on this resolution. I do not trust the Defense Secretary. I do not trust the executive branch of the federal government right now. And I do not want them entering a metro building to do any type of military training that they want. I would encourage my colleagues to support me in this and vote no. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion on Resolution RS 2025-1187? Councilmember, Vice Chair Rutherford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just of a different opinion that we shouldn't necessarily punish the individual service member and limit in any way their training and capability by holding the federal government and the things that they do and decisions that they make against the individual service member. So I have a different take on that, and I think we should move this forward.
Thank you, Vice Chair Rutherford. Councilmember Benedict?
Thank you, Chair. And colleague, I appreciate that opinion. I too don't want to do anything to harm our soldiers. However, until their leadership makes better choices, I don't think that we should cooperate with them. And so I wish our soldiers the best. They have sworn to uphold the Constitution, just as every one of us has as well. And I hope that they understand that they have leaders that they are working for today that are not acting in a way that upholds the articles of the Constitution. In fact, they are defying them under court order. And so with that, I understand my colleague's position. I agree. But I would suggest that the federal government go and train somewhere else, perhaps in a better location for them than inside Davidson County. I have my, we have our ability to stop what they do in coming into Davidson County. They're clearly doing things with the ICE raid, the dragnet that was done this weekend. I don't trust our federal government leadership right now. I think that if they want to use this facility, they're going to have to pack their bags and find it in another location in this state or wherever they want to do it. I'm not going to support them coming into a metro facility. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? I do have a question for the administration, and I'm not sure who could answer it, but would there be any unforeseen circumstance or issues, unintended consequences for us not to move forward with this? I know we've done this for several years. It's pretty routine. Just wondering if there are any unintended consequences that could result in not allowing this military training on the facility. Let me make sure you have okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm not aware of any specific punishment. If that's the question, I'm not aware of any specific punishment, if that's the question.
Thank you. Vice Chair Rutherford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for recognizing me again. I appreciate the fact that the council member who spoke referenced the Constitution and the fact that the service members, just like us, took an oath to uphold the Constitution. But I would also like to remind members that there are two council members here as part of this body who also took an oath, like the service member did, to defend the Constitution. That is an oath that never expires. Even after you are finished wearing the uniform, that oath never expires. And so I don't want to do anything that jeopardizes the training of the service member. I have the utmost respect for the service member, and I think we're doing harm to the service member and not to the federal government by the action that we're looking to take here. So we should move it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Our Chair Hill of Government and Operations is here, and if you would like to be recognized, Chair Hill.
Thank you so much for recognizing me not on committee, but I want to echo what's already been said. This is an opportunity for our military people to train, and by not allowing them to do that, that harms them. And regardless of what is above them, there's plenty of us in this room that will disagree with that person or that administration. But we cannot or should not punish the military people that are just trying to train, that we may turn and rely on someday to be able to say, this is what we need you to do. We need you to protect us. And now you've had the training to know how to do that. And I just would encourage everybody to vote for this. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a great opportunity. Anytime we can train our military, and I fear what could come back and haunt us, as have happened in the past when we try to tell a particular group no, it has harmed us. And I think that this is not a battle in an area we should fight. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Any further discussion before we take a vote? All right, without further discussion, all those in favor of RS 2025-1187, please say aye. Any opposed? Just, would anyone else opposed want to raise their hand so we can, you opposed? Abstain, okay. And any abstentions? All right, motion carries with 9 in favor. Seven in favor, 1 against, 2 abstaining. All right, thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to RS 2025-1188 by Hill and Gamble, a resolution approving an intergovernmental license agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and United States of America to enter into certain property located at 1414 County Hospital Road, owned by Metropolitan Government for limited military training purposes. May I have a motion? Moved and seconded? Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Councilmember Benedict.
Thank you, Chair. Like the last one, I will be a no vote on this. I also want to be clear. This vote is not about punishing our service members. This is about telling the leaders within the U.S. Army to do that work outside of Davidson County. That's what I'm saying by this no vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Any further discussion? Without further discussion, we're ready for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Motion carries, 7 in favor, 1 against, 2 abstentions. Moving on to number 6 on your agenda, RS 2025-1206 by Gamble, Parker, and Stiles, a resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon existing public sanitary sewer main and to accept new public sanitary sewer mains at 3 properties located on Hickory Highlands Drive and Bell Road, off-site of the project location at 2920 Hamilton Church Road, also known as Autumn Lake Off-Site Sewer. May I have a motion? Moved and properly seconded. Councilmember Stiles is here and would like to be recognized as soon as I find your name. There you go. Councilmember Stiles, you're recognized.
Thank you very much, Chair, for recognizing me. I did email Austin, and I have been made the lead sponsor again of this bill. I would like to withdraw it, please. This is a project that is coming to my district. Absolutely no conversation. I got a phone call 2 weeks ago. The developers told me that they're getting ready to submit information regarding a pilot. Reached out to me in November, they said, but I have no notes, no record of that, and move forward with a project that I know my constituents are going to be livid about. I did inform them that in terms of any council participation, I was going to be fully against it. If they'd like to move forward without our participation, they may do so. But given that they are very aware, my district is not in need nor wants any additional housing that are apartments, and they move forward anyway. I have a townhome community directly across the street. They're going to be livid, and I don't have projects that come to this council that haven't been to a community meeting. So this was a failure on their part. It is not our responsibility to move forward with anything in their favor at this time. So again, I would like to withdraw this bill entirely.
Okay, we have to have someone on the committee do that. But before we do that, I did see Councilmember Parker's hand and then Councilmember Benedict. Councilmember Parker, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. So I'm trying to figure out what we have before us. I mean, we manage the types of housing that can go in a particular area with zoning. I think if the zoning that's not in place for an area is not appropriate, we can submit applications to the planning department to modify that zoning and go through that normal community engagement process. As I'm understanding this, it's a situation where there's a already entitled project and what's before us is a utility easement. So I guess I don't know that I think that, denying utility easements is necessarily the best way to manage land use. And then also, like, if this project were to move forward with the existing infrastructure, I'm concerned that there could be resultant infrastructure deficiencies if whatever infrastructure upgrade is being contemplated here, if the project moves forward without that infrastructure upgrade, there could be deficiencies in the area. So I definitely sympathize with the situation that the district member is in, but I think if we think that the zoning's not appropriate in a given area, I think we have a clear path to modifying that, and that is to submit an application to the planning department.
Thank you, Chair Parker. And question, did this go through the transportation? Do you remember? This
I believe it
went
did.
through on consent. Okay, thank you. Councilmember Benedict.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate my colleagues' comments right before me. I completely concur. This is something that will make the development, the zoning that's already in this location that's been approved, this infrastructure easement would make it better for all of the residents in the area, such that I would be concerned that if this, again, my colleague right before me expressed a lot of my concerns, but I think this is important because we do need more housing in this city. We have a unified housing strategy that came out last week. We have a housing and infrastructure study that came out last week. I believe that as a body and as a city, it's our job to take responsibility for implementing those concerns. And I think this is an opportunity for more housing to be built, which will help our residents, especially in a desirable area. But again, this is just an easement. To me, it makes sense to pass it, and I'm in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chair Rutherford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since this is a bit of a unusual circumstance, could we hear from the planning table on this?
Great idea, great question. If we can hear from the planning table on this particular easement for RS 2025-1206.
Do you have a specific question that you'd like me to address?
Vice Chair Rutherford.
Just in general about whether or not you are comfortable if this is withdrawn as the sponsor is requesting.
So the planning department's role for mandatory referrals is sort of one of overseeing, but not necessarily being the lead on any of them. So this is one that was submitted to us by Metro Water Services in regards to a required infrastructure improvement. These are relatively standard. You've probably got dozens of them on this agenda itself. So this is for abandonment of a water line and then acceptance of a replacement water line of a different size. So these are fairly common. And all of the Metro reviewing agencies reviewed the mandatory referral and approved it. This is likely an instance where Metro itself directed the developer to make that improvement, and so we are now accepting what was directed to be made.
Councilmember Rutherford, does that answer your question? Okay. Thank you. Councilmember Styles, I'll go to Councilmember Horton, our committee member, and then come back to you. Councilmember Horton.
Thank you, Chair. I have a question perhaps for yourself or Director Darby. I'm still learning the rules. Is it withdrawal a proper motion in committee?
It is for the committee member. It is for a committee member. Councilmember Styles, you're recognized.
Thank you again, Chair. So I appreciate the opinions on housing, but if you don't live in District 32, I'm pretty sure I haven't been in your district. I abstained from your vote, Emily Petty. I am speaking on behalf of District 32 residents that will not be happy with more apartments. Antioch is 70% rental. These developers knew that we don't have a need or a want for this project. They failed to communicate. This was something that was avoidable back in November when they first reached out and then never followed up with me. While I understand that this is kind of perfunctory for us to talk about infrastructure, we are talking about infrastructure for a project that is not needed or wanted. If you would like the project in your district, by all means, I would love to send it to you. But this is going to be problematic in my district. And my constituents, I am sure, as there's another piece of legislation that is going to attempt to come before us, you will hear from them very loudly. They have no interest in our participation. So again, very much so, I do not support any perfunctory work that we do on this project. Nothing that the council supports, as they didn't do their due diligence. This was their job to do in advance. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember Benedict, did you want to respond to anything since you were named?
I would just encourage my colleagues to vote in favor of this. This, as the, I guess she's not the sponsor of the legislation, but just explained, this is an affordable development in the district and in that district. And so I think the more affordable housing we can get, the better. So I renew my support for approval. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Councilmember Styles, I appreciate you coming here today and explaining your position. However, it would require that a committee member withdraw the legislation that's before us in this committee. You would be able to withdraw it on the floor if that's what you choose to do. But unless there's a committee member willing to withdraw the legislation, then we'll need to move forward with a vote on it. Okay. Any further discussion? Yes, go ahead.
So if I'm currently the lead now, it still has to be a committee member on the floor now that has to do it. Okay, just wanted to be clear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Without further discussion, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, moving on to I believe number 17 on our agenda. BL 2025-760 by Councilmember Parker, an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from RS10 to R10 zoning for property located at 3101 Hillside Drive, approximately 196 feet south of Broadmoor Drive. May I have a motion? Moved and properly seconded. Councilmember Parker, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to move a 2-meeting deferral on this to continue working with the applicant and the neighbors.
Moved. We have a proper motion for a 2-meeting deferral. May I have a second? Moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Before we end, I would like to announce, as it's been shared earlier, that the Unified Housing Strategy Study has been released. It was released last week, and the planning staff will be conducting workshops, starting with one this coming Thursday, May 8th, at the Planning Commission. The Unified Housing Strategy team will be doing a presentation at the Metro Planning Commission this coming Thursday on May 8th. In addition to that, they will have virtual presentations on May 15th and May 21st. To find out more information about those virtual presentations or any presentations regarding the Unified Housing Strategy, you can go to nashville.gov under the Planning Department and look up the Unified Housing Strategy. In addition, the planning staff will be conducting workshops regarding the housing and infrastructure study. We did receive a preliminary results and recommendations from that study, and they will be conducting public engagement meetings starting on Monday, May 12th at the North Precinct, Thursday, May 15th at the Donaldson Library, Wednesday, May 21st at the Southeast Library, Wednesday, May 14th at Hillsborough High School, Monday, May 19th at the Madison Library, and Saturday, May 31st at the Sunny West Building. They will also be adding a date for the Bellevue area, so stay tuned for that. And you can get more details on those housing and infrastructure workshops at nashville.gov, well, engage.nashville.gov/housing and infrastructure. So thank you all for being here today. Meeting adjourned.